I am going to share something with you live today that I've never shared before publicly, and today that is going to be the formula to helping riders improve their riding, i.e. how to get the most out of your horse by getting the most out of yourself. So I spent the past 4 years working with riders and trainers exclusively in person and online to help them get the most out of their own bodies so that way they can get the most out of their horses. And I've also spent the last 6 years before that traveling the United States, studying under some of the most brilliant minds in the rehab and strength training world. So combining two amazing modalities, which is Greg Roskopf's muscle activation techniques, and RTS, which is resistance training specialist. Both of those go hand in hand to improve performance and optimize your performance. So the muscle activation techniques helps you improve how well your muscles work, improving your muscle efficiency to be able to contract and use your muscles. And then the RTS is a very, very high level approach to strength training and being able to adapt strength training to an individual. So today, I'm going to teach you the secret little formula to my success that I've had with riders and share the riders' success and how we've gotten there. So today, like I said, you're going to be learning how to get the most out of yourself so you can get the most out of your horse. So let's dive right into it. Here we go. How to get the most out of your horse. Of course, it is a lovely acronym. So we're going to go over the 4 components of getting the most out of your horse, starting with M. M is going to be mobility. And please don't judge me for my writing. I don't have the best handwriting, but I'll try my best for you. So mobility. Mobility is going to dictate 3 things: your posture, your position in the saddle, and potential pain. The 3 P's there. So mobility is simply how well can you move your joints through full ranges of motion. Our body is comprised of many joints, and our muscles move those joints. And how well you can control that motion through a range of motion is going to dictate how well your mobility is, how mobile you are. If you don't have good mobility, you're going to struggle with your posture. You're going to struggle potentially with your position because you may lack symmetry from side to side. You may not be able to move a certain part of your body on your left side as well as your right side, and that will dictate your position and really make it a struggle to find the correct positions that you need in order to give specific aids to your horses. And then over the long term, it can cause pain. And why can it cause pain? A lack of mobility, control of your muscles can cause pain because over the long term, when you don't have great mobility, control of your muscles on side to side, it'll start causing compensations. You have to come up with compensatory patterns to keep you moving forward. And that's great because it allows us to keep moving. But in the long term, those compensations put extra stress on certain muscles, and it puts unwanted stress on joints because the muscles can't support those joints. So over the long term, that's when you get that pain, that chronic pain that just kind of came out of nowhere. It is that lack of mobility because your muscles have potentially had to work harder in certain areas to make up for a weakness in other, which brings me to a good point, that word weakness. So a lack of mobility, let's think of this in terms of weakness. So your muscles' inability to contract or fire when you want it to. And when I say contract, I mean your brain has to send a signal to every single muscle in your body to move. And sometimes that signal gets dampened. There's an interference, which can be caused by inflammation. We won't go too in depth with that, but that is the principle of muscle activation techniques. And that is the whole concept that a lack of mobility is actually a weakness in your brain's ability to communicate with your muscles. So we need to be able to restore mobility to help you have better posture, to choose the position that you want, and for the long term to get you out of pain, so that way you can, or not allow pain, or dampen the amount of pain, so that way you can continue to ride for as long as possible, especially as you age, and that you don't get slowed down by that age because of this pain. So that's going to be the first step, is going to be to improve this mobility. And in order to do that, you can do one of two things. You can do lots of things. My recommendations in what I do is you can go see a muscle activation technique specialist. That's going to be one of the best ways to restore your function of your body. Or you can do this through very specific strength training. Now, you may not get the most out of it or as much as you would if you saw a practitioner, but big surprise, it's going to be something going on. I'm going to go over this in a later video. You can actually improve your flexibility or mobility through strength training. So that's the first one, M, mobility. So by the way, if you get this and you feel this, like, oh man, no matter what I do, it just seems like certain things are tight. It's hard for me to sit in the saddle and use the muscles I want to, and I feel some pain in my hips and my back, even though I've never had an injury there. Do me a favor right now and leave me a comment down below letting me know that you suffer from this, or this is something that you've come across in your riding, and let me know where in your body you feel this. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know. I'm going to be checking that out. Oh, here we go. Going on. Orchestration. Orchestration, we are going to call this stability, or what some call balance. So what do I mean by orchestration? What I mean by orchestration is how well can you orchestrate the muscles in your body? How well can you orchestrate specific movement, not just against gravity, but how well can you do that while you're having forces put upon you? And forces put upon you just means something's either pushing or pulling you. So when you're riding, you have something pulling you a lot of the time, and you have forces underneath you moving back and forth. So how well can we orchestrate and control our movement when these forces are introduced? Stability and balance. So that's going to be responsible for stability. So stability is going to be how well can you keep something still while moving other things. And this is super important for giving clear aids. Because you don't want to be, you can have mobility, you might have some good mobility and good flexibility, but if you can't keep what you want to keep still while specifically moving other things, you're going to give your horse a whole bunch of unclear communication, and it's going to struggle to be consistent and consistently doing what you want it to do. So not only do we have to be able to move things, but we have to keep things still while we're trying to move very specific things while being pushed, pulled, and moved underneath there. And that is going to help determine our balance as well. By the way, if you like what you're getting here, we've got 2 more to go, and you know that this would be beneficial to anybody else, whether it's a friend, if you have any students, please do me a huge favor and share this with them. You can share this on your Facebook post, your Facebook wall. And I always check who shares this, and I'll throw out a huge thank you to you, and I really appreciate that. But if you feel like you don't want to share it on your wall, I understand as well. You can actually just write their names down in the comments below, and they will get notified, and they'll check it out as well. Moving on. S stands for strength. Strength is going to be responsible for our recovery. The writing's getting worse and worse over here. Stick with me. Longevity and ease. Ease of riding. Look at that. It's going downhill like this. Woo! So strength. What do I mean by strength? How strong your muscles are. What can they produce? We'll call our muscles force producers. So the horse pulls on you, moves you around. It's saying you've got to either hold me or move me. And in order to do that, your muscles have to produce a certain amount of force. So the better your muscles are at producing force, the easier it is going to be while you ride. So we're going to start with ease. So your muscles can tolerate a certain amount of force. All of your muscles can tolerate a certain amount of force. And so if riding your horse for, let's say, an hour or 2, over time, your body's adapted to that force and can handle that tolerance of force. Well, if you strengthen all the muscles in your body that help out with riding and get them stronger and increase their tolerance, then when you get back on that horse, you may not be hitting we'll call it a threshold, how high your muscles, how much your muscles can tolerate. But now you've increased your strength, so that way when you're on the horse, it's actually easier because your muscles can actually tolerate more than you just riding. This is why the whole principle of I don't need to work out because I ride. By doing exercise off the saddle and strengthening your muscles, you're going to be able to tolerate your riding even better, because when you are riding, you're only going to get the stimulus of riding. Therefore, you are always going to be able to tolerate just riding. So if you can strength train your muscles to handle more than the stimulus when you're riding becomes easier. And when riding becomes easier, recovery becomes better. So again, if this is you, have you ever been to a show and shown and woke up the next day and you felt beat up because you rode more than you're used to, and then you still have to ride day 2, potentially day 3, and as you go down, things start to get a little bit harder, you get fatigued, things hurt. Again, let me know in the comments if that's you, and it would not surprise me, because you're asking your body to do a lot. Knowing that your muscles can tolerate more and more is going to help you recover the next day, because they're used to a stimulus that challenges them. So they adapted over time to be able to handle these things and even greater things, so that when you wake up the next day and go for your second and third day rides, you don't feel as beat up, which means you can then have more control and you can be more mobile because your body is not fatigued and beat up. And then lastly, the strength is going to help your longevity. Pretty simple here. Your muscles, again, control your joints, and the healthier muscles you have, the healthier neuromuscular and muscular system that you have, the healthier you, the more healthy potentially your joints will be. And that's typically the negative stuff we feel is a lot of joint stuff. And again, what's going to help your longevity is stuff doesn't hurt and you don't get injured. And being able to improve your muscular tolerance is going to help you have longevity in the sport. And that's probably more important than anything, to be able to continue to do what you love to do for a long amount of time. Coming down to the last one here. T. This is the most important one out of all of them, because without this one, none of them matter. And it is going to be training and time. Training and time. So, number one, if you do not make time to do this work on a consistent basis, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're not going to get the results because you're not doing anything. And so I've come to learn that this one is a very, very tough one in the equestrian world, because we are very, very, very busy. You're riding horses. You may have a job. If you're a trainer, you're riding multiple horses. And it's hard to find time, but there's hope. Most of my clients who've come into me weren't training at all and made time for it. And it just kind of happens. It's a new habit. You just have to make it a priority. So without the time, none of it matters. And you got to do the training. So you can do very specific training that's going to get you very specific results, i.e. doing some sort of mobility training, some sort of stability training, some sort of strength training. And being very effective at doing these things is going to help you get better and better results most out of your body. Unfortunately, we live in a world where the fitness industry is just tons of people in it. And the scary thing, you can go for a day, yeah, you can actually get online for a day and become a personal trainer by doing a few hours of education, taking a test, and now you're a personal trainer and can help others. It's a little scary, but that's the world we live in. So needless to say, there is less effective training methods out there that could potentially actually negatively impact all three of these things. So the specific amount of training that you're doing, the specific type of training you're doing is going to have effectiveness on all of this. And then most importantly, the time. So that is your how to get the most out of your horse. With anybody that I work with, we do work on mobility, the orchestration and strength, pretty much as separate entities. I'm not going to go into that today because each person is their own, and I could spend 20 to 30 minutes, probably more, on each of these, but I just wanted to give you the formula that I use. Do me a huge favor. Oh, by the way, really quickly on this, I've been asking for topics that you would like to hear me discuss, so leave that in the comments below, so that way I know what you are interested in the future and I can cover it. So there it is. Let me know again what you'd like to see in future videos down below, and I plan on giving gifts or guides or something in the beginning of my videos, trying to help you out as much as you can, so you can actually open a notification and create a notification for every time I go live, so that way you do not miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you got a lot out of this. I look forward to talking to you and engaging with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to continue to become the best rider you can be for as long as possible, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to continue to put out videos and allowing you to get the most out of your body so you can get the most out of your horse.